Would you still pray if it could cost you your life? In the heart of ancient Babylon, a sprawling empire of gold and power, lived a man named Daniel. He wasn't a king or a conqueror, but his wisdom and integrity were so profound that even the great king, Darius, appointed him to the highest office in the land. Daniel, a man of deep faith, served the king with unwavering loyalty. Yet his true allegiance was to God. Every day, 3 times a day, Daniel would open his windows toward Jerusalem and pray. This wasn't a secret. It was the rhythm of his life, a public declaration of his devotion. His excellence, however, didn't inspire admiration in everyone. It bred a bitter jealousy among the other high officials and satraps. They watched him, searching for any flaw, any mistake they could use to bring him down. But Daniel was blameless. His record was spotless, his character impeccable. Frustrated, the officials hatched a devious plan. "We shall never find any charge against this Daniel," they schemed, "unless we find it against him concerning the law of his God." They knew his weakness was his strength, his unshakable faith. So they went before King Darius with false flattery. "O King Darius, live forever." They began. "All the high officials of the kingdom, the prefects and the satraps, the counselors and the governors are in agreement that the king should establish an ordinance and enforce an injunction, that whoever makes a petition to any god or man for 30 days, except to you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions." Their words stroked the king's ego. The idea of being the sole object of worship for an entire month, a living god in his own empire, was intoxicating. Blinded by pride and trusting his conniving advisors, the king didn't see the trap being laid. He signed the decree, and according to the law of the Medes and Persians, it could not be revoked. The trap was set. When Daniel learned that the document had been signed, he didn't panic, he didn't hide, he didn't compromise. He simply went to his house, to his upper chamber, where his windows were open toward Jerusalem. He got down on his knees, just as he had done before, and he prayed and gave thanks to his God. His faith wasn't for show, but it was also not something he would conceal for safety. It was as essential to him as breathing. His enemies were watching. They swarmed his house, catching him in the very act of prayer, their faces alight with malicious glee. They had him. They rushed back to the king, their voices dripping with false outrage. "Did you not sign an injunction?" they asked, "that any man who makes a petition to any god or man within 30 days, except to you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions?" "The thing stands fast," the king replied, his voice firm, still oblivious. Then they sprung their trap. Daniel, they announced, "One of the exiles from Judah pays no attention to you, O king, or the injunction you have signed, but makes his petition 3 times a day." The king's heart sank. The color drained from his face as the full weight of his foolish decree crashed down upon him. He had been tricked. His most trusted and capable official, a man he genuinely admired, was condemned by his own hand. The king was deeply distressed and spent the rest of the day desperately trying to find a loophole, a way to rescue Daniel. But the law was absolute. His scheming officials reminded him, "Know, O king, that it is a law of the Medes and Persians that no injunction or ordinance that the king establishes can be changed." As the sun began to set, a heavy-hearted king, Darius, gave the command. Daniel was arrested and brought to the mouth of the lion's den. The king's voice was filled with anguish as he spoke to Daniel, his last hope now resting not in his own power, but in Daniel's. "May your God, whom you serve, continually rescue you." The guards cast Daniel into the darkness of the pit. The sound of growling echoed from below. A massive stone was rolled over the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet ring and the rings of his nobles, so that nothing could be changed concerning Daniel. That night, there was no sleep for the king. He returned to his palace, refusing food, music, and any form of entertainment. He paced his chambers, tormented by guilt and fear, his mind replaying his terrible mistake. He fasted and prayed, not to himself, but for Daniel. Meanwhile, in the suffocating darkness of the den, surrounded by the stench of death and the heat from the massive bodies of the hungry lions, Daniel was not alone. As the beasts began to stir, their roars shaking the very ground, a brilliant light pierced the gloom. An angel of God appeared, a figure of serene power and blinding light. The angel moved among the lions, gently closing their powerful jaws. The ferocious predators became as docile as lambs, lying down peacefully around Daniel. In the midst of what should have been a terrifying end, Daniel knelt, not in fear, but in calm, unwavering faith, his heart filled with peace and gratitude. He was safe in the hands of his God. At the first light of dawn, the king couldn't wait a moment longer. He rose and hurried to the den of lions. His voice trembled with a mixture of hope and dread as he called out into the darkness, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve, continually been able to rescue you from the lions?" A moment of deafening silence followed. The king held his breath. Then a voice emerged from the pit, strong and clear. "O king, live forever. My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths, and they have not harmed me, because I was found blameless before him. And also before you, O king, I have done no harm." Joy erupted in the king's heart. He was overwhelmed with relief and happiness. When Daniel was lifted out, there wasn't a single scratch on him, not a tear in his clothing. He was completely unharmed because he had trusted in his God. The king's joy quickly turned to righteous anger. He commanded that the men who had maliciously accused Daniel be brought forward. Along with their wives and children, they were cast into the very same den. Before they even reached the bottom of the pit, the lions, no longer restrained, overpowered them, proving their ferocious nature and the magnitude of the miracle Daniel had just experienced. Then, King Darius, forever changed by this event, wrote a new decree, one that would be sent to all peoples, nations, and languages throughout his vast empire. It read, "I make a decree that in all my royal dominion, people are to tremble and fear before the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, enduring forever. His kingdom shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be to the end. He rescues and he saves. He works signs and wonders in heaven and on earth. He who has rescued Daniel from the power of the lions." Daniel's story is more than just a tale of survival. It's a powerful testament to the strength of unwavering faith in the face of impossible odds. It shows that true courage isn't the absence of fear, but obedience to God even when you are afraid. It reminds us that even when earthly powers conspire against us, there is a higher power, a living God, who rescues, saves, and is worthy of all our praise. Thank you so much for watching with us today. If this story inspired you, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more stories of faith and courage. We'll see you in the next video.